I mainly go to happy hours because it's a chance to get a free drink on someone else's dime. So this is December of 2023, and this month makes it 1 full year of my big girl job being a full-time civil engineer. How has it been? How has my experience been so far? Do I like it? Do I hate it? And where is my mind going to? Going into 2024? Let's talk about it. How has it been? It has been and continues to be a learning experience. When I graduated from college, a thought that came into my mind was, now I am ready to take on my full engineering responsibilities with all the knowledge bestowed on me by all these amazing professors. I am ready to tackle the world. But there was something that I missed. Time. So I like to think about it as baking. Hear me out for a second, okay? So when you go into college from freshman year all the way to senior year, that is a time that you're taking for you to learn all the necessary information that will help you be a better person, hopefully a better person once you're done with school. And that process, you're taking all the necessary knowledge, hence the ingredients, which will help you mold you into very good dough. So by the time that you're done and you graduate as a senior, you're inserted into an oven, and the heat now cooks you up, and now you take the time to be a better version of yourself as time goes on. So that's where I am right now. I'm in the oven. There's a lot of mistakes that are happening, a lot of exposure. I've gotten exposed to about 10 or more projects, and it continues to be a learning process, a lot of failures, a lot of times that I'm just like, you know what, I don't know if this is what's meant for me, but I wake up the next day and try again. And as far as project involvement, when I first started, I was mainly assisting in a lot of the tasks and doing a lot of surface level work. And I think this is something that I had to come to terms with, because when you graduate, when you're in your actual final year of college as a senior, you're very much involved in the detailed design, and you think that that's exactly what you will do as soon as you graduate and start working. But that's not the case, because a lot of the times the designs are not just about the manuals that you're given to follow. There is so much that you have to take into account, and it's only experience that can actually help you with that. So when I started off, I was assisting and helping mainly in cleaning up like the plan sheets. And so it's been some time to really understand that it's a process, and it takes time to actually hone in that skill and to actually get the bigger picture as you go through your entire career. So do not be surprised if you do not get into the detailed design just yet. There's a reason for that, because there is so much more to what you see, especially in college. And there are a lot of ideas, and there are a lot of people and stakeholders involved that need to be taken into account. If you are a graduating senior, once you get your degree, that degree is an access card into a room full of civil engineering professionals who will help you walk the walk and teach you everything they know, so that you too can stand on your own 2 feet and become a professional engineer. So this is where I am. I am in my apprentice years. I'm very much learning about what civil engineering is. Every single day I get a bigger perspective of what design is and how it relates to reality. 6 months, I would say about 6 months into being where I am, I was fed mainly subdivided tasks. I was at the very tail end of things, so I am not doing any design just yet. There's someone else who has a lot more experience than I do that creates the files and does the detailed design. And then my job was to make sure that it looked good on paper and labeled every single thing that was needed. And so I think it's right now that I'm gradually getting into the detailed design of things. I've gradually been fed like my own projects that I can work on. One thing that I've learned throughout this entire year is, particularly in my job, it's not just about the roadway design, but everything around it. And I will segue into what I am doing right now, which is utility coordination. It has nothing to do with design, but it has everything to do with it. And so with utility coordination, my job is to basically reach out to utilities in the area. So with every single roadway project that we do, there is some sort of utility coordination. And so my job for a lot of the projects that I'm working on right now, I am reaching out to so many utilities that could possibly be in the area, because a lot of the work that we do might impact the utilities on the ground. So they need to know if the utilities are within a project area, and we also need to know, and we have to coordinate to make sure that our design does not impact their utilities severely. If it does, then it's either they do something or we do something. But a lot of the times the utilities go out there and they try to redesign or relocate their utilities for our improvement. So that is what I'm doing right now. So it's a lot of calling, a lot of emails, a lot of making sure that I am staying on task and I know what is happening. If utilities got the emails, if there will be some sort of impact. So this is a part of roadway design and roadway projects that I did not know about, and I'm gradually delving myself into it and getting myself accustomed to the lay of the land. So it's a lot of communication skills involved, making sure that I am communicating exactly what we need so that we don't go back and forth too many times and we're all on the same page of what's going on. So when I compare January of 2023 to December of 2023, what is very different? So the first thing, I am more involved in the planned production process. So before, I was mainly doing the last very task. So like I mentioned, someone else would do the design and then I'm supposed to help lay out how the design would look like on the plan sheets, labeling and everything. And so right now, the difference is I am the one doing the design on a lot of the smaller projects to start off, which is a good thing. And so now I've gradually started to get into design and understanding what's involved in that process. The second thing that is different between when I started to right now, 12 months later, is the amount of responsibilities. So at first when I went to work in January, I had a very relaxed schedule. I wasn't doing so much compared to right now that I am handling quite a lot of projects and being deeper into the design. So I have gotten more responsibilities right now and trying to learn how to handle that, how to handle my own time and seeing how I can work effectively throughout the projects. Because I work in the private sector, and in the private sector, time is money. And so one of the things that I have been told about is to better manage my time because it can drain the budget. That is something that I did not really have to deal with at first, because that's not something that they want to scare you with. When you first start, when you gradually get into the company and you understand the way they do things and you understand the design process, they expect that you get better and more efficient. And with that, in the private sector, there's another layer of timing and budget. The third thing that is different between January 2023 to December of 2023 is the engineering vocabulary. The way engineers talk is not understood by many, and if newbie like myself coming into the industry, there are a lot of acronyms and there are a lot of words that only people who have experience will understand. So there have been a lot of times where I sit in a room and I have no idea what they're talking about. But the good thing is the people that I work with, they are very open with questions, and I'm able to have casual conversations with them about things that I do not understand. And the fourth thing that is different from when I started to right now is my attendance at networking events. Honestly, when I got into civil engineering, I thought that a lot of the times the designers sit behind a desk all day, every day, and don't really have to communicate or talk to people, but that's the complete opposite. There's a lot of communication involved within the company, amongst yourselves, amongst the people that you work with, and also amongst the people that are outside of your company when you go for networking events. I never thought of myself as someone that will go to as many social events as I have. I mainly go to happy hours because it's a chance to get a free drink on someone else's dime and to get to know other people in your industry. My first happy hour, I was tense, I was nervous, and the entire ride there, I was like, why am I putting myself through this? But that one event opened doors to so many connections. As far as likes and dislikes of the job, let's start off with dislikes first. Mainly one thing, waiting. Sometimes I have the urge to really know things as fast as possible, but then I forget that I need time to talk to people, to read on my own, to do my own research. And honestly, it's with every project that you get exposure and you get to have that experience. I would like to learn as much as possible as fast as I can, just because I'm very open-minded and I want to know so much about the civil engineering industry, and especially with what I do, so that I can be a better engineer. But I have to always tell myself that it's okay, take it a day at a time, and not to run too fast. So what do I like about the job? I like the flexibility of the hours. So I am on the design side of things, and the company where I work, they allow us to come in as early as 4 o'clock in the morning and leave as late as needed, pretty much. So I am an early bird. I like to go in very early in the morning, sometimes like 6:30, 7. That flexibility is really nice, and also the diversity of projects. There's so many projects that I've worked on over the past 12 months. Roadway, roundabouts, bridge related, and there is so many commonalities with what we do and a lot of what different industries in civil engineering do. It's interesting to see how projects are similar or different and complex or easy. There's a whole range of things. So that diversity of projects keeps things interesting, so that if for now, for example, I'm working on like 4 or 5 projects, so once I get bored or annoyed about a certain project, I can jump onto a different one and just get my mind off of the other project. So that's one thing that's really nice, how I can jump back and forth on a project. So where am I going into next year? As I mentioned, I'm still in the oven. I'm an apprentice. So just trusting the process and going from one project at a time, learning from every single mistake and every single experience that I have, expanding my connections, going to more happy hours, going to more networking events, getting out of my comfort zone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how my first year has been. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of times when I don't want to go to work, and a lot of times when I'm excited to be in the building. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're new here, my name is Dem. I am a civil engineer, and on this channel, I speak about my civil engineering experiences. As from this video, I am 1 year into being in my civil engineering career, so I will show you and talk to you about some of the experiences that I've had. If you're interested, you know what to do. I'll see you next time.